So I wanted to share a quick video that we're going to do for Gus. He's good enough to send over some video footage for us to have a look at, and we've worked with Gus for quite some time. Couple of things that we regularly look at that we're going to kind of touch upon here. And for some reason, TrackMan wasn't letting me show the full footage of him taking a set-up position right through to his follow-through. So on the right-hand side, we've got him as he's taking a set-up position. On the left-hand side, just before he's about to pull the trigger. Two things that we regularly comment on. One are Gus's posture, so he's got what we class as an S posture, so you can see the kind of curvature into the small of the back, so it's an area that he's going to have to work on again. We go through this one from time to time. We just needs to kind of work at trying to get his pelvis into the correct position so his back flattens out. An exercise we get him to do for that is just to stand with his back against the wall, standing totally upright, and just put the hand, so he's standing vertically, putting the hand into the small of his back and just trying to tilt his pelvis so that he can effectively flatten the back and flatten his hand against the wall. I thought it was interesting just looking at the comparison between these two, though, really noticing his legs. Again, we've spoken in the past, Gus uses an awful lot of leverage with the ground vertically to generate some particularly high club head speed, which is good, but he struggles from time to time with a little bit of control. And we know that he struggles a little bit with injuries to pre-existing injuries to the knee. So this posture here is pretty good. If you look on the left-hand side, you can see that he's definitely softened the knees a little. Now, if I just play through this one, just let you see him getting to that position, I think you possibly see exactly what goes on. And that kind of sitting down just gives him a little bit of an issue, which you're going to see now from the other camera angle. So now with the face-on angle, a couple of wee points. First thing is, I think Gus said he was hitting 5-iron here. For me, ball position is too far back. It gives rise to a little bit of a movement in the swing, which we'll see in a second, where he almost has to compensate. So for me, I'd much rather see the ball position significantly further forward. I did ask the question as to whether it was partly to do with the net. Gus's ball flight tends to be quite high, and I wondered if he was maybe a little bit nervous of putting the ball over the top. But the big area for me, as I said, he struggled with knee injuries in the past. The big area for me is what happens as he starts his backswing. So as we play the swing from this perspective, you'll see that he initiates the swing by effectively swaying. So he moves all his body weight out into that right-hand side and moves quite significantly away from where he was at address. When you see from the other angle, you get a little bit of perspective on that, and it helps him initiate his backswing. But it does mean that we then start to cause a little bit of an issue as we want to come back towards the golf ball. So he's using his knees to try and create power. I'd like to see that leg a little straighter, and certainly on this line, to create a bit more stability. Because when he then comes down into the golf ball, I'm going to try and just sync these up a little better. You can see that how much he straightens up. Now, unfortunately, I've not done a great job there of syncing them. Unfortunately, because of the way the camera angles have worked, we've not quite got impact. But you can see that we've delivered the club with the body almost leaning back the way a little bit, which would tend to suggest that it's actually one of the reasons he's a very good driver of the golf. What we tend to suggest is clearing the body and trying to get the ball up in the air. The issue that it's going to give is that it's going to potentially mean that he's going to fight with his ball flight, and potentially as well fight with impact location. So common one for he and I to talk about is a high ball flight, and I think when you see this impact position, it really wouldn't be remiss if we were looking at with a driver. But with an iron, I'd much rather see lower body rotated far further left and the chest more on top of the shot. Again, from this angle, I'd like to see the left glute back touching this line, or preferably even behind it. A little bit more visibility of the lower body there would indicate that the body's turned a lot more. And also, I'd like to start to see the sole of the shoe here. So with him fully rotated round, you would see his spikes starting to appear on the sole of a golf shoe. As I say, I think part of that setup position, though, in fact, I think an awful lot of it's setup position. It's quite a common one for us to get. Just basically positions where we're comfortable. and we kind of drift back towards them. But if we can start to lose this position here, and if we can start to keep the legs a little bit straighter, I think all in, discomfort and pain are going to be reduced quite significantly. And I think that's really quite an important one for him. And also it's going to give him just a little bit more control of the golf ball. We should point out he's playing off one, so it's not that we're all of a sudden going to see him drop 5-6 shots off his handicap. He's already got great technique, great hands, but we could just simplify it just a little bit better. So I'm hoping to see a follow-up, and we'll keep you up to date with it.